Hey peeps, it's Miss Sarah here. Welcome to rStudents Online.
Ooh, that does not look like it's fun.
That's because her hair's wet and slimy. It's not slimy, it's wet.
Did I tell you guys we're recording?
Oh shoot! Your hair!
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Pastor Jordan here, and I am joined by my friends McKenna and Madison. Why don't you guys wave and say hey? Madison, can we see your face? Hey, there she is. All right, so hey, really quick though, before we go any further with the night, I want to let you guys know that this is the easiest time that it has ever had to invite your friends. So if you know anybody that's not currently doing anything on a Wednesday night, invite them to rStudents Online. And if you guys have enough people that you invite, fill out the digital connection card and say that you're the one that invited them. We actually have a few Amazon gift cards that we're going to give away for free. So make sure you are inviting your friends and always on the lookout for people that you can invite. But let's move on with the night. So if you don't know anything about McKenna and Madison, they are both incredible cooks. So since I like food, I thought that I would ask McKenna and Madison to show me how to cook something. And I couldn't decide which one I wanted to teach me, so I chose both. McKenna is going to teach us how to cook something, and Madison, well, she's going to be McKenna's arms for the night. So why don't, McKenna, you take it away. Why don't you tell us what you're going to teach us how to make, and the night is yours.
Hi guys, so we're gonna make pancakes. This is something that we make for our family a lot. So if we need to start with 1 egg. So if we'll just grab this beautiful egg over here and we're gonna hit it on the rim. We're gonna crack it. We're gonna put it on the pancake recipe. Okay. Oh, and I got some egg on my cheek. We're gonna now take our cup measurement we have right here, this lovely green cup, and we're gonna take the flour. We're gonna use the flour. So we have some beautiful flour, and now we're gonna pry it open, and we're gonna scoop it in the cup.
So this is 1 cup of flour, right?
Yes, 1 egg, 1 cup of flour. We're only doing 1 recipe. So, oh dear, that's too much. Okay, that's perfect. That's perfect. We're just gonna put that in there. Goodness. So, oh, why did you put? Oops, that's okay. That's okay. All right, now we're gonna put. There's flour everywhere, all over our shirt. So we're gonna push the flour aside carefully, very carefully, so that it does not spill all over the floor, because that would be dangerous and sad. Now we're gonna take milk, and if you would just show everybody here, we have milk for our brother because he's lactose intolerant. So to make these family friendly for us, we are going to use lactose milk, and we need 3/4 cup of milk. So if you'll just not pour it on me and pour it in the, okay, so we need just a little bit more. Okay, that's good. All right, if you will just close that up now. And we're gonna set that down on the counter, thank you. And we're gonna take our 3/4 milk and we are going to pour it in. So now we have our milk, eggs, and flour. And now we are going to take our vegetable oil, which we have canola oil, but that's the same thing really. So we're gonna take, we need 2 tablespoons of canola oil. So if you'll grab our tablespoons, and that's the teaspoon. We need. Alright, I need you to calm down. Thank you, Hans. We're gonna open this olive oil. I can't. We're gonna open it very carefully. Oh dear. And we're gonna.
That seems like it was a little bit more than what you needed, but I think it's gonna be okay.
Yeah, most of it, I'm just gonna set that down. Most of it didn't get into the recipe. It just got on my shirt. So we're gonna take the lid. No, not horseradish sauce. The lid, please. The green lid. Yes. We need the green lid, and we're gonna put it back on the olive oil because if it spills, we would be in trouble because we didn't want to make a mess, even though we did. So it's kind of on our shirt. We kind of got the flour and oil situation from the Bible, you know. Or make bread, but in this case, it just made a dirty shirt. We're gonna. We are going to now we need a little bit of sugar. So if you'll grab the sugar, we're just gonna get a little bit of sugar. And we're using granulated sugar, but it doesn't really matter. And we need one tablespoon of sugar. My back hurts. 1 tablespoon. No, just one. Just one, Madison. All right. We should challenge the leaders to do some of this. All right, maybe Jacob and Abby. All right, so we need now tablespoon of baking powder. So if you'll grab our baking powder.
So making pancakes seems to be a very dangerous job. You got to make sure you have everything together and ready to go before you start, right?
Yeah, we do. So we need baking powder. So if we'll just grab baking powder. Now baking powder is a leavening agent, but it's different from baking soda. So you need to make sure that you don't have baking soda because that'll change the chemical makeup of your pancakes. So that is too much. We're gonna, yep. Okay, that's good. We're gonna put it in now. All right.
Wait, so you said that if you use baking soda instead of baking powder, it changes the chemical makeup?
Yes, the chemical reaction.
Does that mean it's gonna explode?
Most likely not. I don't know because I try to stick to the recipe. So,
Dang. I was wanting it to explode.
We already have enough mess for that. So I think things already did kind of explode. We'll have to show you the mess when we're done. The teaspoon, I need the teaspoon is on the floor. Currently both teaspoons are on the floor. I can't breathe. This is proving a very difficult task. You're biting my hand. This is proving a very difficult task for Madison to do. You should do everything. Yes, that's the right one, but we're not gonna put. So we have sea salt. So we're gonna actually measure it over something else besides the recipe because with our risk of disaster, it'd be bad. So okay, that's good. So with sea salt, you can do less than mineral salt, and we lost that. So if you just put that in our milk container since we dropped that. All right, so we have currently everything we need in our recipe. We have 1 egg, 1 cup of flour, 3/4 cup milk, 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil, 1 tablespoon sugar, 1 tablespoon baking powder, no horseradish sauce, and 1 tablespoon. So now you're going to get a beautiful whisk. That is not over here. So this is Lincoln. Please stop. This is a whisk that we have. That's what a whisk looks. Madison, please be careful. So mixing this with 2 people is kind of hard.
I have faith in you guys.
Mix. Get all the powder. You got to make sure that you incorporate this very well. And be careful that it doesn't spray because this has raw egg in it, and that can be dangerous. So this is why you don't lick pancake batter. It would also not taste very good. But yeah.
So do you whisk until all the lumps are gone, or do you want to leave some lumps in there?
leave some lumps in it. You just gotta make sure that all the dry ingredients and wet ingredients are incorporated. So that now, all right, can we put our whisk down? Okay, yep. So now we can pick up our bowl and show you what this looks like. So it kind of looks like this.
That definitely looks like pancake batter. Yep.
Batter. Okay. So now we're ready to cook. So we're going to take a little measuring cup, and it's about like a quarter cup, and we are going to pour it on our griddle. And you just okay, that's good. We have a beautiful pancake in the mix working here. Okay, that's good, yep. Depending on the size of griddle, you can use different griddle, but now let a few minutes per side go.
A few moments later.
So after a few minutes of cooking on each side, they will hopefully look like this. Or these are a little bit dark, so some of them could look a little bit golden brown. But then you're done. So now we're going to taste these beautiful pancakes. We're going to take our knife and our fork, and we're going to cut a little bite. We're going to try to successfully cut a little bite. So, we're going to figure out a little bit of an unconventional way of eating. These are actually pretty good. I'm pretty proud. These kind of taste like Cracker Barrel pancakes. I think the secret for that is having butter on a pan. But they taste really good. So I'm proud. So you should totally check it out. Try it at home. Just to reiterate the challenge that I set earlier, our leaders Abby and Jacob, I challenge you to try a recipe that's one of your favorites at home. And thanks for joining us. Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
All right. McKenna, Madison, thank you so much for giving us your wisdom in the kitchen. Everybody, why don't you send some comments, some hearts, some likes, and let them know how much you appreciated their recipe. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much again.
Hey guys, it is time for our Say Yes Challenge of the week. And I just want to let you know there are other leaders out there. You don't always have to be challenging me. So if you have a challenge for myself or preferably one of our other leaders, there is a link in the description of this video that you can go out and submit your challenges for us to do. So the challenge for this week is, well, I guess some of you noticed how much I needed a haircut. In fact, without copious amounts of hair product in my hair is quite long and really needs a trim. And since you guys so graciously noticed, you challenged Jake here to cut my hair. This is probably the stupidest thing I've done for youth group. But Jake, have you ever cut hair before?
There's Mountain Dew and Snickers.
No. This tops it. This tops Mountain Dew and Snickers, hands down. Jake, have you ever cut hair before?
Never in my life. Well, my own hair, and it was an epic failure. My mom wasn't happy.
This does not give me any form of confidence. Well, Jake, I have left the decision of what you're doing up to you as well. So I have no idea what I'm going to look like at the end of this. Did you do any prep work? Did you look up some videos on how to properly cut hair? And so, you give me a good looking haircut, right?
Absolutely not. I'm way too busy for that.
Oh, gosh.
No way, man. You're at the mercy of the Lord. Holy Spirit, guide my hands.
I got a trash bag since I don't have one of those fancy little barber cape things. Put this on. If I can find the hole.
It's gonna work, but you probably should get your glasses
Yeah.
first.
So,
Might have worked.
hopefully this will help me from getting copious amounts of my hair. It's not even gonna fit over my shoulders, is it? It's doing something.
You have to.
All right. I don't even care anymore. So, without further ado, let's pray first. Let's pray. Dear Jesus, forgive these students for being crazy and asking Jake to cut my hair. They do not know what evil they have asked to have happen today. God, I ask that you give me wisdom to make better decisions in the future. And please, for the love of God, or the love of you, please bless Jake's hands and help me not to get cut or die or something of that nature. And help me to look at least halfway decent after this. In your name I pray. Amen. Well, let's get to it.
Oh no.
Well, ask me questions that the students might want to know.
What's the craziest thing you've ever done
The craziest thing I've
that you can tell or share with youth?
The craziest thing I've ever done is when I was in college, because all crazy stories start out that way.
That's
apparently.
correct.
I was on the soccer team, and the initiation to get on the soccer team, for some reason we had to go jump off of a cliff into water. So I think it was at St. Peter's Quarry, Jake, if you remember that. Did you ever go?
No, I did not do things.
Well, you missed out because it was real fun.
I did.
But it was about an 80-foot tall cliff into water, and it was super sketchy. I don't recommend it, but it was super fun.
Awesome.
Yeah, so that's the craziest thing I've ever done.
So, Jordan,
Yeah,
what's one thing on your bucket list,
skydiving.
right?
In fact,
We were gonna do that.
yeah, we were gonna go skydiving. I think it was set for April 5th, I think is when it was. I've always wanted to go skydiving, and I finally was like, you know what, I'm gonna do it. So we got actually a couple people from the church, and we were all gonna go skydiving, and then Rona happened,
Oh, Rona.
and it done did mess everything up.
Okay. Not a fun time.
Oh no!
Here comes the fun. Doo-doo-doo-doo. I mean, that's the sun. Here comes the sun. Doo-doo-doo-doo. I can't even get this off. All right.
He shouldn't be trusted with scissors.
All right, my friend. Oh. I don't even know if I'm doing this whole business right.
Ah! You stabbed me in the eye with your pinky! Ow!
I'm gonna lose it. Gotta clean that up a little bit.
Guys, this is increasingly turning out to be a bad idea.
Your hair is very uncooperative.
My hair's very cooperative when I'm doing things to it.
My gosh.
And the final result.
I think I've turned into a werewolf. Okay.
So just kind of took it real down on that one side.
Alright.
So you can just kind of style it over the other way, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, I gotta take a picture of the back of my head.
Oh.
Alright, I was expecting worse. Okay.
I knew you were.
So, moral of the story is,
Rona, go away.
Rona gonna don't let Jake cut your hair, although
Come
worse
back.
things could happen. I'm gonna go take a shower now and style this hair. Hopefully it'll look better. Yo, hey, right here, these things, you should get those gone.
You got it. Get those gone. I'm on it.
Alright, we're not done yet. Alright,
I'll take a picture of it.
well, that's all she wrote for today. Jake, thanks for not just shaving my head bald. Also, I want to give a huge shout out to Johnny. He has been our cameraman for the night. Don't worry, he is
Not a good cameraman.
wearing a mask and trying to stay protected like we all should. I'm now going to go shower, and hopefully when I style it, it'll look a little bit better. But I'll see you guys in a few. Bye. So I am all showered up. I trimmed my beard a little bit even and put copious amounts of pomade into my hair to try and get it under control. But all in all, I have to say, Jake, you didn't do too bad of a job. I'd have to say if you guys are desperate enough for a haircut like I was, Jake's not the worst option you could have. But I do have some thoughts about just buzzing all of it off and starting from scratch. I've never done that before in my life, so why don't you let me know down in the comments whether I should buzz everything off or leave it the way that it is until I can get a professional to cut my hair. But before we move on with the night, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about the teaching tonight. It's going to look a little bit different than what it usually does. I'm not going to be getting up and giving you guys a message in a sermon format like I usually do. Instead, I'm going to be turning the floor over to Jacob Bennett, and he's going to give you his testimony. And if you don't know what a testimony is, it's basically your story and how God impacted your life in the sometimes broken situations that we can find ourselves in. So I hope you guys learned something. Be on the lookout for maybe some similarities in your life to where God has shown up in Jacob's life and how he might show up in your life as well. So Jacob, take it away.
Hey there, rStudents. This is Jake, and I'm very excited that Jordan asked me this week to share my testimony. For those of you who don't know what a testimony is, it's basically the story of how God's worked in my life throughout my entire life. And you'll notice something as you grow older, that your testimony is constantly changing. You know, what I share today isn't going to be the same story that you'll hear me share a year from now even. We're constantly growing, and God's constantly growing in us. And so this is just my story for today, and it's my truth that I have to share. So thank you for listening, and thank you for being a part of this week's rStudents group. I guess the only place really to start is at the beginning. With my childhood, I grew up in a home that went to church most Sundays up through I was like in 3rd grade. But it was not your typical home. It's not a home you would have ever seen on TV. We weren't, picturesque or anything like that. It was a home filled with a lot of struggle and heartache. My mom was an abusive alcoholic, did not know how to take care of us, and really didn't even try, to be honest. So there was a lot of pain in our house, a lot of hard days, a lot of sadness. I remember at a very young age, laying in bed, closing my eyes as tight as I could, and praying to God that I would open my eyes and I'd be in a different house and a different family, because it didn't seem to make sense and it didn't feel right that I was where I was. And I would open my eyes and I would still be exactly where I was, and nothing would have changed. And to be honest, things didn't get better, they got worse, no matter how many times I prayed. And as I got older, that led to a lot of anger towards God, and a lot of sadness, because I figured if God put me where he did, that meant that there was something wrong with me, that I was bad, that I was wrong, that I had made some sort of mistake somewhere along the way, that God thought I didn't deserve a good home. And in that anger and in that sadness, I found myself really struggling throughout my childhood. In middle school and high school, I would just like lie to impress people, to make myself seem interesting, because I didn't think I was good enough how I was. I was very lonely, very isolated, kind of stuck to myself. I would go home, watch movies, play games, kind of stay locked away in my room, not wanting to face the world, not wanting to face myself. And that anger built up with time, and eventually I grew up, I graduated from high school, got accepted into college, went to Salisbury University, and I was going to school to study elementary education, and my brother was already there. He was a senior when I started my freshman year, and he said, hey, why don't you come with me to this after-school program that I've been volunteering at? And I went, and it was this after-school program for kids who were living in public housing. And a lot of them came from rough homes, like our rough home. And a lot of them had experienced a lot of pain and sadness. But what I saw at this after-school program were college-age kids or grown-ups, whatever you want to call them, like me, who cared about them and loved them and supported them. And I thought, wow, these people are awesome. I don't know why they're here, but I love that they are. And I remember then the next day my brother said, hey, I go to this homeless shelter twice a week and hang out with the kids there. Do you want to come with me? And I did. And it was the same group of guys and girls helping out these kids and loving on these kids while their parents were in meetings, just making them feel special on a Wednesday night. And I remember Saturday morning, my brother said, hey, I go to the soup kitchen on Saturday mornings. Do you want to come with me? And next thing I know, we're at God's kitchen, and we're serving the homeless and serving the needy, and just sitting with them, talking with them, laughing with them, playing football with the kids. And it was so powerful to me to see, again, the same group of college kids serving the community day after day after day. And it just blew me away. And I talked a lot to these people about their college experience and why they were choosing to make this what they did in their free time instead of the typical going to the football game, partying, hanging out, going on dates. They devoted their time to helping the community that surrounded our college. And I remember they said, you should come to our Christian club that we do on Friday nights and we can talk about it. And before I knew it, I was attending Friday night services and Sunday morning church, and I was in Bible study. And I remember the first Bible study I was a part of in college, we read James. And I remember reading in James 1:27, which says, religion that God sees as true and faultless is this, to take care of the orphans and widows of this world, and to make ourselves unpolluted by the world that surrounds us. And that really stuck with me, that God, He wants us to take care of people. He wants us to love on people. He wants us to fix the brokenness and the sadness, because He knows this world isn't how it should be. He knows this world isn't the way it could be. And He knows there's so many sad and broken people. And He wants us to be those world changers. He wants us to be those difference makers. He wants to use our hands to make it better. And I remember with that knowledge and with that realization, and then with these relationships I was building of Christians who were going out there and making a difference, it started to help me let go of that anger and that sadness that was in me. And I started to realize that God did love me and He did care about me. And even though things in this world can be so hard and things in this world can be so broken, that doesn't mean that I'm broken. It doesn't mean that God thinks of me as being broken. God loves me exactly how I am, and he's using me exactly how I am to make this world better. And that's his charge that he gives all of us, to love people and to love this world and to make this world better using the love of God. And so from there, I started to get more and more involved. And before I knew it, every day of the week, in one way or another, I was somewhere serving people. I got to know those kids on Booth Street in the after-school program, and by the end of my first year of college, we had actually started a mentoring program, and we were working with the kids one-on-one. And I was with these two boys, David and Bryden, who at the time were 7 and 8. Now they're, geez Louise, 14 and 15. And working with them and serving them. And I got to know their stories, and I got to know their backgrounds, and I got to know their pain that they had been through. And I started to realize I wasn't alone. I'm not the only person who's not on TV. I'm not the only person who's experiencing sadness and wishing for something different. And what I realized is this world, no matter how good your life might seem, it's not good enough. And we're not going to make it good enough magically overnight. But what is good enough is God's love and God's grace and God's understanding and God's patience and the heaven that awaits all of us. And I started to realize just how important it was to share that with people and to share what God has with them, while also trying to make the world that we have better. And that gave me empowerment when I realized that, and I realized what all these kids were going through, to realize my story had purpose, and my story had power, and I could help kids realize they're not on this island alone, that everyone has pain, and that we can share that pain. And so I found during my 3 years of college before I graduated, so much of that time I just grew and grew and grew in my understanding of God. And I grew and grew and grew in my love of myself and acceptance of myself. And I was no longer angry, and I was no longer sad. And now I teach kindergarten. And I teach kindergarten at Haddon Grace Elementary School, where I don't want to be anywhere else. It's the best place on planet Earth. I have a wonderful wife who I love. I have a home that I can share with her. We have dinner and lunch and breakfast every day, which was not the reality of my life growing up. And we've built a life that's pretty good. You know, sometimes you'll hear testimonies from people and they'll say, my life was really bad, I found God, and my life got great overnight. That's, in my experience, not the story God wants to hear. That's not the reality for most people. God didn't magically make my life better when I prayed to him and said, please do it. But what he did do was he equipped me to face the brokenness of this world and to stay strong in that storm. And he's allowed me to forgive. He's allowed me to love. And he's allowed me to work hard to make sure that this world continues to grow and become better. I'm very thankful for that God that we have, who loves us so much. And I hope wherever you are, whatever you're going through, that you can experience that love, and you can experience forgiveness, and that you can help this world become better. Because you're not the only person who faces brokenness and hardship. And with God, we're going to be able to help this world. Anyway, that's my story. I hope it made sense in some sort of way. I'm very thankful that I get to spend my time with you each week. I'm very thankful to know you. When I say you, I'm speaking to the general you, meaning everyone in rStudents, but I'm also speaking specifically to you, the person on the other side of the screen. Each and every one of you is unique and special and designed specifically by God for this world in this moment. He placed you here today for a reason. I'm very thankful that you're here. You make my life better every Wednesday night. And I love you all. I hope you have a great night. Survivor finale's on in a couple minutes. Make sure to tune in. and I will see you all soon. Have a great night. Bye.
Wow, Jake, that was absolutely incredible. Thank you so much for that. I know that it blessed me tremendously, and I hope that it blessed the rest of you watching as well. But hey guys, thank you so much for tuning into rStudents Online this week. I want to let you know that it is not quite over yet, though. Jacob is going to be hosting an online Zoom small group meeting to debrief and discuss a little bit further about his testimony. If you guys have any questions or thoughts about it, or want to get to know Jacob a little bit better, go ahead and find the link to that in the description of this video. So just click on that and we'll see you there soon. If not, we'll see you next week. Have a good one, guys.
I'm gonna need one of those pancakes stacked. It actually tastes really good. No, stop! We need no! Mother! A bite. Take it. Go. No, not a big bite. No trouble with it. You didn't cook it. I tried. Madison, you just ripped it. Now I can't even try to cook it. Hold on. We'll stick it in the microwave. We'll be right back.
Oh my god, I'm dying. They're trying to kill me.